Hello, friends. There are moments in every person's life when just one decision can determine what our immediate future will be. And even our whole life may depend on whether we choose to do the right thing. Moreover, this right decision will only be more valuable when made by a person who seems to only have one option for the future, as he's been living and starving on the streets for many years now. And it may seem obvious what most would have done in a similar situation. But friends, it's all going to be different in this story, and you will now see who came out of it. The life of a 44-year-old homeless man named Waralap from Thailand was far from easy, if you could say so. He's been living off of occasional part-time jobs for many years, staying at the local train station. He rarely begged for alms, mostly relying on himself and his limited but honest earnings. In the fall of 2019, after a hard day, the homeless man settled down under a warm blanket on one of the railway station platforms. He was about to fall asleep when suddenly he saw a man running on the platform, barely making it onto the departing train. It would have been mattered, these things happen, but the homeless man saw something fall out of the man's pocket before he got on the train. Of course, the homeless man thought it might be something valuable, and he got up to see what it was. He couldn't believe it. There was a wallet lying on the platform. And not just any wallet, but an expensive one, which meant that it must have had a lot of money inside. 99% of people in Waralap's position would have most likely taken the money and felt very fortunate. But oddly enough, the homeless man decided to return his find, even without looking inside. He began to shout something at the man, waving his arms, and even tried to catch up with him. But the car door closed, literally in seconds, and the train took off. Waralap just remained standing on the platform, watching the train hide over the horizon, tightly holding on to his find. As he opened the wallet a little later, Waralap was very surprised. He has never even held the amount of money that he found in the wallet. It was 20,000 baht in cash, about $640, and a large number of bank cards. It would seem that it was a lucky day for the homeless man. He could buy new clothes and find a place to sleep, and that's probably what any other person would have done in his place. But for some reason, Waralap decided to do something very different. As the poor man himself said later, "I only had 9 baht, about 29 cents, in my pocket when I found the Hermes designer wallet. But despite all this, I was sure that I needed to return such a large amount, return to the owner. Because it could be that it was all he had. Or this money may have been for a treatment or something else. So I decided to find the owner." So, without giving it much thought, the man went to the nearest police station, where he signed a statement about finding a wallet. To say that the police were surprised is to say nothing. So they decided to take Waralap's contact information, in case the owner decides to find him, which wasn't all that difficult, since Waralap lived at the train station where the police station was located. With the information from the bank cards and other contact details, the owner was identified quickly, and so the next day, the surprised owner of the wallet came to pick it up from the police station. After counting the cash, he found that the full amount was untouched. Surprised, he looked up at one of the policemen and said, "Where is this homeless man? I want to find him." And it was from that moment that Waralap's new life began. As it turned out, the lost wallet's owner was Nidhi Pongkriankios, a 30-year-old entrepreneur who was impressed by Waralap's act of honesty, so much that he decided to reward him. What happened next was even more surprising. When Nidhi found the homeless man and offered him half of the amount from his wallet as a reward for his honesty, Waralap amazed the businessman with his answer. Not only did he refuse to take the money, he also said that he didn't do it for the reward, but rather because it was the right thing to do. As the businessman himself recalled, "In the modern world, we spend all our lives fighting against meanness and betrayal. It's very difficult to find a person who can be trusted nowadays. Unfortunately, everyone is only focused on money. But here, right in front of me, was a person who had nothing, yet his upbringing and life values were the most virtuous." Seeing how honest and kind the homeless man was, the businessman decided to change his offer. He decided to offer the man much more. A job at his company, which would also include accommodation. Nidhi said, "Waralap is the kind of person I am looking for to work in my company. I really need kind and honest people." And on his part, the homeless man was grateful for the opportunity to prove himself, and to turn his life around with honest work. The young entrepreneur turned out to be the owner of a large factory with several stops producing metal structures, and he was well known in the city. In just 2 days after Warlop found the wallet, he already started working in the factory. The entrepreneur put up the savior of his wallet in a dorm near the factory where the man had everything he needed for a comfortable life. The way the homeless man acted also touched the businessman's girlfriend, Tarika, so she also decided to thank the former homeless person. She took him shopping and bought him new clothes and other necessary things. But friends, if you think the story ends here, you're very wrong. After Tarika shared this story on Facebook, it quickly spread through the country, making the homeless man famous, in addition to being invited on TV. His hard and honest work at the factory did not go unnoticed, and just a few months after starting to work there, Warlop was already being promoted, while others tried to avoid hard work and were unhappy with the working conditions. Our hero worked for $70 per month, doing the work of 3 people. He knew he had much to lose. Now the former homeless man works as a shift manager at Nadi's factory and earns almost $340, which is way above the average wage in the country. He also saves up to buy his own house and is very optimistic about his future. He also has a great relationship with the businessman and his family, and has been invited to their house more than once. As for the story of how the man ended up on the street, it was told much later. After Warlop's mother died, his brother kept the house, and it so happened that Warlop ended up renting an apartment at first, and then living at the station for several years. But despite all that, he didn't become bitter, didn't lose faith in people, and for that, he got rewarded. If you get an opportunity to do good, be sure to use it. Every right decision you make can change your life, or change someone else's life, which is twice as pleasant, says the former homeless man. Honesty and kindness will always be rewarded. It might not happen right away, but it definitely will happen. And the story of this homeless man, who didn't lose the best of his qualities, even while living on the streets, is the best proof of that. So, friends, be honest. If you were in this position, what would you have done? Let us know what you think in the comment section. And that's it for today. Rate our video if you liked it, and see you soon. Bye!